Good morning, everybody. Victory Group. This is OC here, and I'm joined by Kenwan Johnson. We're gonna go over the Master Fat Blaster diet plan. So this diet plan is designed for you to lean up, lose body fat percentage, be healthy, and have the most energy possible. So, but given the nature of this diet plan, I wouldn't recommend it for people if you have metabolic conditions like diabetes. I would have you consult your physician and speak to your dietitian before you start on such a program, given the nature of it. So let's get started. So the Master Fat Blaster diet plan. First thing first is the cleanse phase. This phase is a 7-day time frame. The protein shakes, you would need your protein shake for this diet plan. So the first 7 days, all we're doing is protein shakes. I know it may sound like more of a task than it really is, but it's getting used to. But you really should be. Pardon that interruption. But yeah. So with the diet plan, what you need is a protein shake. For breakfast, you have the shake, and that's 1 scoop, and it should be about 140 calories. You would also need your snack. Snack wise, it's a couple of nuts, and it doesn't matter what nuts it is. You can do cashews, almonds, pistachios, and so forth. All of which is 100 calories total. So you just want to keep in mind the calorie amount. So it's total of 240 calories for the breakfast and snack. Then we're going to lunch. You want to eat it between these hours here, between 12 and 3, ideally, just to stay, keep your body in the consistent state of having proper calories, to help your metabolism stay active. And then dinner time, we're having the same thing here, breakfast, lunch, dinner for the first 7 days. And you may ask what is the purpose of doing this? This is why we call it the cleanse phase. During this phase, you're going to find that what happens is your body is now using the stored fat that you have for energy, rather than adding, when you eat food, you add new calories to your system that your body doesn't need and storing it in addition. So with the workouts that you're currently doing in-house at the gym and at home, you're also burning a tremendous amount of fat. So some of the key things that people notice during this at the end of this cleanse phase is, one, more energy. That's one big thing a lot of people notice. More energy. And then the other thing is also the stomach becomes flatter, drastically flatter, for a couple of reasons. One is you're taking in less calories, so your body is burning calories more than it normally would. And then two is you're taking in less food, so because of that, there's less excess when your body breaks down the food. There's gas and a lot of other things that makes your stomach feel bloated and bigger. So all those conditions are eliminated. So coming from the cleanse phase, the first 7 days, we're going into the renew phase. So this is where we're inputting new clean, the proper food. So keeping in mind that whenever you eat, you're a collection of whatever you've eaten over the last 30 to 40 days. You get what I'm saying? So this is why we need to we need to reset things by but we have to do it systematically, because typically when you try to reset abruptly, it's harder to get that done, because your body remembers the way its habits, its old habits. So we're trying to teach you new habits, but do it in a systematic way. So the renew phase is the next 21 days. For breakfast is again between the hours of 7 to 11. Having 140 calories for the first. The next phase is lunchtime. So there's a couple key things that we using here for your diet plan. The calories may not always be the same for everyone. This is more so for the but for the most part, it's going to be within the same range here. So, um, looking at this plate here, we want to the way we set it up is that we want a certain percentage of your calories coming from one of your three macronutrients, one of your three sources of macronutrients. The we need to pay close attention to the protein that we eat, the carb that we eat, and the type of fat that we eat. These are three macronutrients. So within this plate here, we can see three main macronutrients. First is your carbs is coming from the vegetables that we have here. So the vegetables is primarily the main source of calories. The other, and that should be about maybe anywhere from like 30% to about 30 to 40% the carb, and then your protein should be about let's call it about 40%, and then the healthy fats, you don't necessarily need a whole lot of that during this phase. So pretty much what we're looking at here at your plate, you want to see half, your calories should come from your carbs and fats. So just when we monitor those two things, as far as like your protein and your fat, I said carb and fat, I meant protein and fat. So the same thing here in dinner. If we look at your plate here, most of the calories coming from the carbs that we're seeing here, which is the green beans, and we're looking at the veggies here. Those are the main calories there. Then we have the protein here, which is your chicken breast. So we keep it very simple. You want your diet to be very simple, because when we have a whole lot of mixtures in your diet, it puts a lot of stress and tension on your digestive system, and which tends to lead to a lot of other weight gain, a lot of bloating and gas, and those things that you don't want. So just following this template here, this is what your diet plan would look like. So looking at day 2 here, so the GC control, this is also a extra piece that's added to here. This is not recommended for everyone. This is more so for people who have high or low blood sugar level. This just gives you a healthier option of a low sugar within your protein shake. So you're always having breakfast. When you have breakfast, just taking your shake. Lunch, your most of your calories is the healthy carb, the right carb, but we want to increase the level of protein. So it's almost half and half. Well, actually, really, it's more like 50-60% to the rest being from your protein. So as we keep it simple as that, within the diet plan. So if you look through the rest of these the day 3, day 4, the format of the type of diet would look the same. But now let's say you get tired of I don't want to eat chicken breast for the day. Included in the Master Fat Blaster diet plan is there'll be a substitution chart that's included with this here. So let's actually scroll down to the bottom here. On the bottom here, so it has a list of substitutions. So maybe I don't want to eat chicken breast, for example. So chicken breast is a protein, so go to the meat section. So we'll pick from the top any one of these here. Even when you go food shopping, you want to go pick your top 5 protein that you want to have. So that's one of the main things. That's one of the first things that you're doing with this diet plan. You want to go food shopping, depending on what your budget and what your preference is. Pick top 5 or top 3. If you're someone who like variety, then give yourself more options. But if you don't really care too much about that, then maybe pick 2 from that substitution chart. So we'll go to protein and we substitute, but we also want to keep in mind the calorie amount that So we take, for example, if we go here, we don't want chicken breast, but we want salmon. So just substitute salmon in there. We just want to make sure the calorie amount still adds up, still matches up. We're not trying to be extremely precise on that. We're just more about the portion and just keep in mind the portion that you use. General rule of thumb is your your protein should be half of your fist, as a size that you use, and then your carb is like enough to fit a palmful of open palmful of your protein of your carb, depending on what your macronutrients is here. So that's that. And same thing applies with vegetables. Maybe you don't like the type of vegetable, you don't like spinach, you want to use the substitution here. Same thing with the fruits and the drinks. The drink wise, we want to keep it low sugar, low to no sugar, and we want to keep it we want to allow it to help you stay hydrated throughout your workouts. And then so when we first start off, we're in phase 1 of the cleanse phase, which is for 7 days. We're in phase 2, that's for 9 days, and phase 3 is for 11 days. So the calorie amount will vary. So during your assessment, we'll be able to give you the calorie amount that I would recommend for you. So this is essentially what the Master Fat Blaster diet plan looks like. So just following it. At this point in time, if you may have any questions, I'll allow you, Kenwan, to ask the questions at this point in time. So let's see what we have here. Is this pretty simple? Is it self-explanatory? Is this something that we want to elaborate on?
Not too much, but more so. You mentioned low to no sugars? Is that like just the intake in general, or just for drink wise?
In general, yes. We don't want a lot of sugar in our diet. Sugar is the carbs, but sugar, as far for health reasons, we don't want too much sugar in our diet, because some negative effects of sugar is the aging process, speeds up the aging process a lot more over time. And sugar wise, it's it increases your blood sugar level, which tends to create a spike in energy and a really bad crash at the end. So for health reasons, we want to keep blood sugar level low. And so other than that, there's really not too much. And plus, we have more sugar in your diet. It stores it's more calories, it stores as fat, which contradicts what we're trying to accomplish here. We want you to be lean and lose body fat percentage. So that's the idea behind it.
Okay, because I know people usually, one of the hardest parts is, going into a transformation diet is like, more so sugars and, sweets. It's kind of typical, it's not really, something to frown upon, but it's like, it's just a normal thing that's kind of like, take some time, or, maybe more time for others to readjust or find substitutes of that nature.
Right. Right, and that's the key here with this diet plan is we want to take it through in phases. As far as like we know that coming in, you're used to eating a certain way, but now it's more about reprogramming the body in a systematic way to reach the goal. So first things first, we're not going to think of the long gain initially. We're just going to start focusing on phase 1 of cleanse phase, which is first 7 days. That's the first phase we're going to focus in on.
Okay.
Then going from there, we'll go into the renew phase. Now we're going to focus in more on the renew phase, which is the next 21 days. So with those 21 days, we're not thinking 21. We're thinking about day 1 and another day 1 and another day 1 and another day 1 till we hit 21 days.
So one day at a time.
One day at a time. Yep. So, and that's really how we should take a lot of things in life. So it's just more so about reprogramming yourself in a systematic manner, in a way that we as a coach are here to keep you accountable and here to encourage you through the process, and that's pretty much it.
Now, real quick question, and I just feel like I probably should ask this. Most people may ask it, in general, but how does how long does it typically take for people to get used to their readjustment of their transformation of their reprogramming intakes system at?
That's a good question. It varies from person to person. Um, Everyone that has done this diet plan have seen tremendous results. Especially when they first start off in the first 7 days of the cleanse. Your body is in such a state of shock essentially, but it's not used to eating a certain way. So you see a lot of changes that will happen with your body as far as decreased uh, body fat. Your stomach is gonna go down a lot, and so I mean, from what I understand, with a lot of people is the results is what speaks for itself. Is what motivates you. And if you're watching this, then I know that you're here to get results. So one of the key things is really it as long as it takes to answer how long it takes. I can't tell you exactly how long it takes, but I know that um, you know everyone has seen results doing this, even on the first going through the first cycle of the phase one from start to finish. You're gonna see tremendous changes with your body. So essentially, I guess the answer is 30 days. Let's call it 30 days. You're gonna see results within that time frame. But starting off with the cleanse phase, you're gonna even the first 7 days, you're gonna see those things I mentioned as far as
Okay.
flat stomach and so forth.
Okay, so it's more so based on motivation and habit wise more so. Cause
Yeah, everything in life is how bad you want it. So that's motivation. But like within this program, you don't have to be the most motivated person. You just have to be the most obedient person. You know what I'm saying? So what it comes back to is just like when you're doing this program and you're doing a diet plan. What happens is within that's a cool thing about doing your program within the Fit Body program is more we're here to support you through that process. So it's not like when you're doing it by yourself. You can when you we know how that works. When you leave things to yourself, a lot of times you left up to your own devices essentially. So when you have someone who's checking up on you and who's keeping you accountable as to like encouraging you and pushing you and challenging you to get better, then you're gonna get a much better results than if you did it by yourself. So that's what we're here for.
Okay, yeah. Results tend to always speak louder than words. That's where typically most of the motivation, well, I would say some of the motivation from our clients get it from, because some are just astounded or just blown away by the results they get based on how coachable and how obedient they are, from what you just said.
Exactly, that's exactly right. So with that, we're gonna close down the this presentation, and feel free to comment, like, and post up any questions you may have. And thank you for joining me here. I will see you later, and have a fit day.